Hello, my crafty loving friends. Are you ready to do some grubbying today? I have these stuffed crows that a friend made for me quite a while back, and I want to grubby them up. So I'm going to use my liquid grubby mix that I have here. I have a video on how I made this. I'll link it down below, but really it's super simple. Little coffee, little water, vanilla, and any of the yummy smelling spices that you can find. Cinnamon, allspice, pumpkin spice, anything that you can find to stick in there. I just used my regular powdered grubby mix and put it in there and added a bunch of vanilla so it smells really yummy. And that's pretty much it. And you kind of store it in the fridge and pull it out when you want it. And I'm just going to brush it on these crows today and get them completely covered. And then I'm going to pop them in the oven at about 200 degrees, really low, 175 maybe, and just let them slowly dry. I like to keep an eye on them, flip them every maybe 5-10 minutes, and it shouldn't take long and they'll be nice and dry. So I have this little candle holder and a little spindle here, and I'm going to use one of my little crows to put on this. So I painted the candle holder and the spindle black, and now I'm going to go in, now that it's dry, and sand it down, scuff it up, and give it an aged look. Of course, I got to go in with my antique wax and darken up those spots where I have sanded and want to bring out the nice, beautiful brown color and richen up that black color and seal it in, of course. So I did that and the dowel. And now I'm going to take some E6000 and put it down in the hole. I'm going to affix the dowel down inside there. So I'm going to start with E6000, and then I'll stick the dowel in there and then fill up that little cup with a bunch of hot glue. Now I'm going to take my dried grubbied crow and I'm going to cut a little hole where I want to put my dowel and I want it to go down in. So I added some hot glue and I'm going to stick that in there. I want him to sit up, so I'm going to make it so he sits up nice and tall and put him on there like so. Then once he dries, I'm going to tie a little piece of homespun material around his neck and add a rusty star on there as well. I saved a little bit of room down in the little candle holder for some hot glue, and I'm going to add some Spanish moss down around the bottom just to cover up that hole and, of course, make it look a little more primitive. And really, you could use whatever around the base that you choose. You could use a ring of pip berries. I had this ring of greenery that I just picked up, so I thought that that would look really nice down at the bottom. I'm really liking the primitive look with the greenery on it. So here is the finished look. Have you seen these super cute little head planters at Hobby Lobby? They're 40% off because they're in the spring section, and they are so stinking cute. And I love getting these and then taking the greenery and putting them down inside the head and making it look like kind of like hair coming out the top. So these don't stay in very well. You kind of put them in and they kind of pop up. So I'm gonna I took a ball from Floral Craft, just a craft ball, and I cut it in half because I have two here that I picked up. And I'm gonna try and cut it down so that I can fit it in. wanted to show you I got these styrofoam balls, different sizes, for $1 at a yard sale. So that's where these came from. It was a 3-pack, and I had 2 left in there. I don't know if I used it or if the person before me used it, but that's a pretty good deal, $1 for all those, so I can use them for lots of different things. So I like to pick up things like that at the yard sales, which should be starting up here pretty soon. Spring is on its way and we're getting some great weather and the snow is melting, so I'm excited. So the hole goes all the way down to the bottom in this, and there's a little bump about right there where her little head comes in. So I think that's where this is probably gonna stop inside there. So what I'm gonna do is just put a bunch of glue way down to the bottom. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put in these little extra pieces to fill in the bottom part. Just gonna crunch them in there. Push them in. Then I will fill it up again. And then I'm going to put this in there. Get rid of the strings. It's in there good. Okay, I think I'm going to just use this pencil and make an indent in there for this guy. I don't know if that's big enough. Let's see. Yeah. So I think I can glue that into that hole. I'm gonna make sure put it in there and then hold on to it, make sure it stays, and then I'm going to do the same to this one. I'll fill it in with all this extra stuff, then glue that in, and then I'll put my greenery in. So I want to fill in here where you can see like the styrofoam and stuff, so I'm just going to put pop a little glue in there, take a little bit of this Spanish moss and just tuck it in. Just kind of makes it look finished, and that way you won't be able to see the styrofoam that's in there. So just a little bit here and there. Did you know that I have over 300 videos on YouTube alone? If you're enjoying this content and you want to see more of this, make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell so that you will be notified whenever I upload a video. And make sure you check out some of the other videos that I have on my channel. On this next project, I was going to use the other grubbied row on here, but I changed my mind as I got working and I actually went shopping. So I found something different that I wanted to put on the top. I'm going to take this bottom piece. It is, I don't even know where it's from, probably from Dollar Tree, maybe. And I sanded down the edges so that they weren't rough and made them more rounded. I drilled a hole in the bottom so that I could add a screw and put this dowel over the middle of the top. We're going to take this thread roll that I have. I picked this up probably at Goodwill, probably thrifted it, and I want to make a little holder for it, but I want it to look kind of cool. So with this holder, we're going to put a little topper on it as well. So I'm just going to screw in this little screw, and then I'll make sure that the thread holder or the thread fits on the holder, and I got it fairly in the middle, pretty much. And now I'm going to paint it. So I'm going to paint it a flat black paint, probably Waverly, I would say, is what I'm using. And I'm just going to give it a coat all over. Once it dries, I'm going to go back and sand it down, sand down the edges, and make it look a little more distressed. Then I will use a little bit of my antique wax and go over that as well, seal it in, and paint that bottom so that, or I'll stain the bottom and wipe it back so that it looks more finished. I'm then going to take a fairly good sized drill bit and drill down in the middle of my dowel that I have so that I can fit a smaller dowel down inside. When I went to Hobby Lobby recently, I saw they had the spring collection on clearance, or on sale. So I grabbed a couple of these little birds, and I thought this would look cuter over the top. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue and fill up that cavity of that bird so I can put the dowel down inside. So this little bird is from Hobby Lobby as well. It was 40% off. It was in the spring section. So just stuck a dowel down inside there, a lot of glue, stuck the dowel in, drilled out this top, and then slid that down over there, and then I can put my little bird down in there. And anytime you need to change it out, you lift the bird. It's removable, it's usable. So there's that. I like the color of the bird, but it doesn't really go with this whole thing, so we're gonna make it go with it, and we're gonna paint it. Well, I didn't want my bird to be just plain, so I took the antique rub and buff that I had in the gold, and I'm going to just highlight a few of the bits of the bird. So I'm going to do like his wings, his beak, around his eyes, and his tail, and I think he's super cute. And then we're going to just let him dry and then seal it in and add him to the thread holder. I decided I wanted to add these old shears or scissors to the side as well, and I just used a little bit of wire, made a little round circle to fit down over the top of my thread holder, and then I'm going to cut it down so that I can make a little tiny hook and bend it, and it will be a good spot for my scissors to hang. Another option I was thinking about doing was just taking some jute twine and wrapping it around the thread and then just tying the scissors to it. But I thought this would be more user-friendly. You could just pop the scissors off, unravel what you need for thread, and there you go. So look at that. Boom. Hangs right there. Super cute. Adding my bird, and this little guy is done and so cute. If you've seen some of my past videos, you know I've been trying out the Dixie Belle Patina paint. This has been around for a while. I just got around to feeling like I could spend the money a little bit on buying some of the components for this. So this is the iron. They also have the bronze and copper, I believe. I picked the iron. This is the spray. It has a reaction when you add this to your piece, and then you spray this on. It has a chemical reaction that causes these different colors to come through, like rust. So I have the yellow, and they also have green and blue, and something else, but I can't think of it. But anyways, maybe those are the only ones. But so I've got these two. They're $18.95 a piece. So they're kind of pricey to me for these little bottles, but you only use a little bit unless you're doing some huge piece, which, you know, right now I'm not. So they last a long time. So I was actually in the store the other day and I saw this, and I'm going to add a new piece to my patina line here, and I went and bought the green. So I got the patina spray in the color green. So we're going to be using that with the iron to see what that looks like. I'm going to be adding a little bit of the yellow in there as well, because I do like having a little bit of that in there. I got this cute little bunny. I think it's pretty sure it's resin. I don't think it's wood. It may be wood, but I think it's resin. Little bunny shelf sitter. So this sits on the shelf, and then the little bunny hangs down over the edge. And I thought it was super cute. So I wanted to try the rusting effect on it. So this was $12.99. And then because it was part of the spring line, I got it for 40% off, I believe. So I got a little bit of a deal on that. But what I wanted to do is start with the iron and put that all over my bunnies and get it completely covered, and then I can start with my sprays. Now I like to stipple the paint on. I think it gives it some cool texture and a cool look. So that's what I'm going to be doing over this whole piece, is putting the first coat on of the iron paint by stippling it. You have to let it dry completely. And then the second coat, while it's wet, you put on your patina paint, your patina sprays. So I'll be doing that afterwards. I'm going to do one side at a time because I can't get this to stand up. Trying to see what I have that could help him stand up. Okay, so now I'm going to do, now that this is dry, I'm going to do a second coat, and this is going to cover a lot more. It's going to give it a lot more coverage. Now the first thing I'm going to do is shake up my yellow patina spray, and I'm going to add it to a cap that I can just rinse out before I put it back on. And I'm just going to use a brush, and that will allow me to put it in certain spots where I want it and get it down in cracks and crevices and things like that. This is going to be pretty bright yellow, but once I get the other spray on there, the rust will take over, and it will just be little light hints of the yellow here and there. So once I do that, I'm going to do the same thing with my green spray, put a little bit in a cap, and then use a brush. I like to brush it on, kind of tamp it on instead of using the spray. I think it covers a lot better and gives a better rust look. This takes a couple hours to fully change over, and then once it's all done, I like to seal it in with my Rust-Oleum Clear flat spray paint. have this little tray, little hole in the top, and I like that it has this little indentation in it, and I thought I could put something in there. I dug around in my decoupage paper. This came from Zazzle, so I love it because it has the big old bumblebees on it and the flowers. I think that's just beautiful. And I think this will be great for spring decor going right into summer. So I think I'm just going to take a little spot here off the corner so that I can save the rest of it to do something else with. And I'm just gonna cut around to get the shape-ish that I want. And I'm going to try and decoupage it right in the middle of this part here. So, got that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be really pretty with the little pink and green and off-white and then the bumblebee there. I think that's really pretty. So I'm going to, I was thinking about doing green frame around the outside, but I really like this woodwick color, and I think the woodwick will go really nicely with it, and it'll kind of tone down that green just a little bit, which I like. But you've got the lighter green, you've got darker green, you've got all the varieties of different colors in there. So I'm going to try and tone that down just a little bit with a little bit of this woodwick. So what I'm going to do, I guess I got to look at it. It's a little bit shiny, but I think the woodwick will be fine. I added 2 coats to that, and once it was dry, I went in and sanded around the edges and gave it a little bit of a distressed look. I'm going to be decoupaging in the middle, so I want to add a little bit of a lighter color in there to make the colors pop. So I'm just going to give it 1 coat of this white paint that I have, and I'm just going to brush that all on and try to get it fairly even on there, which in the end it doesn't really matter because you don't see it, but a little bit, and I'm going to cover that up as well. Once my paint was dry, I'm going to go in with my water pen and just add some water to the edges so I can get an organic look when I tear it. And once I do that, it's going to show some of that white once I put it down, and I'll show you how I fix that when I get it in and glued down. I'm going to add a thin coat of Mod Podge to the top half of my tray, and then I'm going to add my paper and make sure it's on and nice and flat and very few wrinkles. Get that down, and then I'm just going to go in sections, do the middle and then the bottom section here, just a light coat of Mod Podge. Make sure I get all the way to the edges, and then make sure that it stays down and is nice and flat. Once I get my paper down, you can see where I've ripped it, it's showing some of the white background. So I'm just going to go in with some of my woodwick paint and a small brush and just kind of lightly brush some paint in those areas just to cover up the extra paper that's up around the edges and the white that's around there as well. Once all the paint is dry, I'm going to go in with my Mod Podge and seal in my paper with a light coat over the top. I'm then going to take, once that's dry, I'm going to take some clear wax and go over the whole thing and seal it in. And then I'm going to take some black wax and go over that and just mix the two together and let it sit for a few minutes, and then I'll wipe it back. Once everything's all dry, I'm going to take some of this burlap trimmings that I have and put that through the hole in the top, and then take some scrap pieces of tea-dyed material and tie those in. I want to add a little bit of softness to the top and just a little bit of decoration there. I'm not sure I like the button on the top, but you let me know what you think. Do you think I should put something different, or does the button look okay? It's a dark green color, and with the gold around the edges, I thought that would look really nice with the picture. I hope you enjoyed my projects today. Let me know down in the comments if you had a favorite and which one it was. Don't forget to check out my Etsy shop. Most of these projects will be down there for you to purchase if you're interested. If you want more repurposed projects, check out this video on your screen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.